Mike, Francois Botha, 6-1 underdog. Are there any concerns on your part?
I don't know anything about that. I don't know nothing about numbers. I just know what I can do.
How about
Kill
the...
this mother.
Okay. How about the 19 months off?
What about it? What about it?
Does it pose any problem to you?
We'll see. I doubt it seriously.
You take into the ring a lot of rage. Does that work for you, or does it work against you at times?
You know, who cares? We're in a fight anyway. What does it matter?
Well, for example, rage against Evander Holyfield worked against you.
Well, it. It's a fight. So whatever happens, happens.
Mike, why do you have to talk like that?
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you. Do you have a problem? Turn off your station.
You know what? I think we'll end the discussion right now.
Then we could.
You got it. Have a nice fight, Mike.
Off.
Anthony, F everybody, Joshua has posted up a picture which does indeed speak 1,000 words. Now, those of you who follow the YB, and most of you probably yourselves, have been over the last 6 months questioning and not sure what mindset AJ's in. And I've got to be honest, this is as good as we're going to get, in as much as we don't know AJ from Adam. However, all these little signs are exactly on the right path. Exactly. Now, I've heard from some people, like, it annoyed me, you know. There's a lot of people, interviewers, asking AJ, AJ, why are you suddenly saying F everybody for, AJ, please, no, AJ, please, why are you you man, stay where you are. Stop trying to kill the vibe. What's wrong with you people? We don't want no Hermoy tonight. I like this. I like this one. You man should be boosting him up. Oh, AJ, would you mind being more humble, please? AJ, please be nice and moist, so Andy Ruiz can punch red in again, and so that we can get more clicks. That's all that Coogan wants. Coogan wants AJ to fall again, so he can get more views. No, I don't. No, thank you. Yeah, you can keep your little moist attitude where it is. You stand behind the camera. So don't worry. Oh, no, not just Coogan. All them goofy people. Oh, AJ, why have you suddenly changed for? He's about to go in there and fight. That's why. If you don't appreciate that, keep your mouth shut. So, AJ, why all of a sudden do you think it's a bit disrespectful to tell people, listen, if you're not on board anyway, that's what you need to do. If you're not on board, F you. And if you're not on board, when I deal with this man, get on your knees. It's as simple as that. And I wish to an extent. I've just seen the IFL TV interview. All these people who keep asking AJ about, AJ, why are you saying if everyone? I wish AJ would just say, just back it up. So he's still trying to justify himself. I'd just say, listen, I'm about to go in there. None of you man are gonna be there. Yeah. If I have to get my mindset in this particular place, if I have to take my mindset to this ruthless and dark place, that's exactly what I'll do. And I don't need none of you asking. Number one, none of you don't pay my rent. None of you don't do nothing for me, essentially. You man are eating off me. All you goofy people with the cameras, you man are eating off of me. Bottom line. Simple as that. Therefore, I don't need you man questioning what I'm doing. Now, I understood it the first time. AJ, it's a bit different, but equally, things are different now. Yeah? You're not the champ no more, and you've got something to prove. So that in itself creates a different mindset, and needs must and all that. Yeah? Before June 1st, there was no need to be really dastardly, because like AJ said himself recently, before he was going in there and bawling people over anyway, he didn't really need a nasty mindset. He didn't need a menacing mindset. Whereas now, and I've always thought this, no matter what happens, to go down as an all-time great or to become the unified champ or the undisputed champion, you're gonna need that kind of mindset. It just so happens in this day and age, or in this new era of boxing, there isn't that depth that there was in the 80s and 90s. Back in the 80s and 90s, you had to, because there was probably 10 great people in the division, more or less every fight, you had to come with that nasty mindset, otherwise you were getting beat. Whereas now, there's probably only 2 or 3 individuals who you have to be in that particular mindset, meaning that AJ can go in there and not have to get his mindset right. AJ can go in there on any given day and beat people like, no disrespect, but he can beat people like Povetkin and Pulev, and you know what I mean. He can beat them kind of dons without having to get his mind right. However, I've give Andy Ruiz his respect. Speed, yeah, combinations, attitude, grittiness. Ruiz is up there, world class level. In fact, he's not far off. When you look at his speed and his combinations, I'm not being funny. Historically speaking, from an all-time great point of view, who has more speed than Andy Ruiz? Who has better combinations than Andy Ruiz? Seriously, on a serious note, in the comments below, you tell me who you think has noticeably quicker hands and noticeably better combinations than Ruiz. I can't name them. So with that in mind, you can't get past when you're fighting people who have who match your stats and who have all-time great attributes in their own right. You can't just get past them people. You have to not only bring your A game, every single attribute you own, you have to maximize. Yeah. What I'm trying to say is that AJ, when he fights other people like Povetkin and whatnot, if he's ill, if he's not on his A game, if he hasn't got his mind right, it doesn't really matter because AJ's that much of an elite athlete. His attributes are that much better than some of his opponents. He doesn't even need to be on point. Whereas people like Ruiz, and I don't even rate Wilder, but just for argument's sake, since he's a champion, people like Ruiz and Wilder, and even probably Dillian White now, you have to be bang on. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying AJ being bang on. Well, that's exactly what I am saying, actually. What I'm saying is that AJ, when he maximises everything, he can make light work of all these people. That said, you've still got to maximise it all. You can't be coming in with a wet mindset. You can't be coming in with a moist, I'm just going to come in here and go through the motions. This isn't one of them ones, as he found out on June 1st. Ruiz is not a go through the motions. And it's easy to get into that mindset because we've seen it all before. Everyone was worrying about Wilder, worrying about Fury. I'm telling you now, maybe we can debate Wilder. One thing for sure, there ain't no Ruiz. People, it's funny because people were not really worrying about Ruiz, but in my opinion, even back then I'd have said the same, but certainly now, Ruiz is levels above Tyson Fury. I don't care what no one says, yeah? Levels above him. I would take, in terms of risk, I reckon I'd back AJ to beat Fury twice in the same night over beating Ruiz once. Does that make sense? I just don't see nothing. I don't see what Fury's going to do. There is no stoppage risk in a Fury fight. There is no... Look at Fury versus Wilder. There's no risk there. You might get jabbed a few times, and there's no risk whatsoever going into a Fury fight. Whereas a Ruiz fight, you've got combination punching risk, you've got pressure risk, and you've got essentially a put down risk as well, or a TKO risk, or whatever you want to call it. Fury. So the fact that it's quite scary to think that in the first AJ fight versus Ruiz, we went in there just thinking that it wasn't really a big deal, but in reality, if my opinion's correct, in reality, that fight was bigger than the Fury fight in terms of loss risk. Does that make sense? And AJ kind of balled in there, thinking that Ruiz was anyone, when in reality, he needed to go in there with a more focused mentality than he would have needed for the Fury fight, essentially. And I reckon, I've said it before, but I reckon if AJ beats Ruiz, because Wilder is not a pressure fighter, pressure is one of the hardest things to deal with. We know Wilder has a right hand, but you can actually... Yes, no one's proved it yet. That said, Wilder ain't fought no one yet. But what I'm saying is that a right hand is a pretty straight up and down trick. There are things you can do, or at least train for, to avert that. Pressure, yes, you can do things as well, but it's a lot more daunting. A right hand isn't really daunting. And it's not like Wilder throws a million of them. In reality, in a Wilder fight, you've only got to really train to avoid a few of them every round. Does that make sense? Whereas Ruiz, pressure is 3 minutes of every round. Or to be fair, Ruiz ain't that bad. Ruiz ain't no Chisora, but still, you've got to get used to handling pressure, which is a lot more daunting and a lot more wearing than just a right hand is. And the great thing about a right hand is you might not know anything about it, and next thing you know, you count it out. So it's not like a big... Whereas a Ruiz fight or a pressure fighter fight, you're going to be weared on and drained. It's a lot more harder to prepare for. Psychologically, you know what I mean? Going into a Wilder fight, yes, your mind needs to be right, but Wilder doesn't put people through grueling fights. Fury doesn't put people through grueling fights. That's what pressure does. Pressure makes it grueling. For someone, look at Tyson versus Spinks or Tyson versus Larry Holmes. You could see it was hard work for them. From the very start, it was hard work. You're having to constantly move your feet, constantly be engaged. There's no rest as such. Even look at Chisora versus David Price. That's what it's like. It's tiring to watch. Even when you watch it on TV, I'm not even in there, but I feel tired for their opponent. It's tiring in there, etc. Meaning that you can't go in there. Your mind's got to be. You got to be prepared for that. If you go into a fight, if you go into a normal fight and your mind isn't prepared, that's one thing. But if you go into a fight with a pressure fighter, and not only Ruiz is relatively unique because he doesn't only apply pressure, he's also got some damn quick hands as well, by the way, which is another Achilles heel essentially for most fighters. But having someone right on top of you is an unusual thing, and having someone right on top of you and throwing a whole heap of punches is a unique thing. Meaning that if you go into a fight and you weren't expecting pressure, and you weren't expecting a whole heap of punches coming at you real quickly, that will quickly get a man. We know AJ went into that first fight not mentally prepared. He was honestly expecting to go in there and just bowl Ruiz over. And many of us were thinking the same thing, to be fair. Everyone was talking about Wilder, etc., etc. So the reason I've given you all that background is to say that this is why. If any of you goofy radio personalities don't understand why AJ's got this mentality, June 1st is why he has that mentality. Having to deal with pressure and combination punching is why you've got this mentality. That's the mentality. There is no other way to deal with this, to deal what's coming up on December 7th. You have to have this kind of, it's going to be one of them ones. A gritty, toe-to-toe. In my opinion, you know what my thoughts on this fight. It's going to take place toe-to-toe. It's going to take place in the centre of the ring. People are talking about, I've got another video coming soon. People talk about the Joseph Parker performance. The Joseph Parker performance took place, AJ was in the centre of the ring for 90% of the fight. You never saw AJ running around the ring away from Parker. Ever. Or consistently. Consistently, AJ was centre of the ring, driving forward with the jab. And we know, I don't believe, maybe I'll be proved wrong, but I don't believe Ruiz is going to be going backwards. No matter what. Because he's small and he can't afford to be doing that. If Ruiz adopts a go backwards strategy, the fight is going to end up like AJ versus Joseph Parker did. Because Parker was, the minute a smaller man's constantly going backwards, you know there's an issue there. Because Parker's never going to out-jab. Or Ruiz is never going to out-jab AJ. And that's why Parker looks so pathetic against AJ. Because when you're the smaller guy, you've got to make it ugly. You've got to be the one putting the pressure on. But Parker bottled it. Hence why AJ was centre of the ring and AJ was the one chasing around the place. However, I don't believe Ruiz is going to bottle it. I reckon AJ is going to pressure Ruiz and Ruiz is going to meet that pressure. Hence, both of them are going to collide at the centre of the ring. And that there requires an on-point mindset. And the great thing is about getting your mind right and getting your mind ruthless is that if the other fighter breaks, or if it ends up easier, if Ruiz has been partying and has been buying jewellery and has been living the good life and not training, you never know. At least then, it's best to prepare for the worst. Prepare to be the most devilish. Prepare to be the most demonic. Prepare to be the most menacing. And then, if you don't really need all that, then it's great. You can wash it off after the day after and put it back in the closet for the next 6 months. Do you know what I mean? It's better to go in there expecting the worst, getting your mind into the darkest place, so that when you get in the ring, things can only get better. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Do you see what I'm trying to say? You want to get, that's the place you need to be, and the reason I'm somewhat frustrated is the fact that you've got all these industry types, you're almost trying to talk him out of it. Do you know what I mean? Oh, AJ, do you really need to be like that? What you on about? Leave the man as he is. I wish some of his team really would step in. I'm like, what are you talking about? It irritates, I don't know, maybe it's just me getting whatever, but I just find these people trying to kill his vibe almost. Do you know what I'm trying to say? That's good. How he is now is good. All you goofy people who want to ask dumbass questions, I don't understand. I can't fathom why someone would ask him, AJ, why have you got that mindset for? Like, where have you lot been? Did you not see June 1st? This is the only mindset you should have in elite sport after June 1st. Yeah? It's worrying. Oh, AJ, you've just been beat on June 1st shockingly. Why are you riled up for? I don't understand it. What? You man need to do some thinking of yourselves. Look inside yourselves. Bunch of beater-ass dudes, goofy-ass dudes out here. That's what it comes down to. Oh, AJ, I'm an internet man, and I'm wondering why, even though you've got to go and have a grueling fight on 5 days' notice, or in 5 days' time, I'm wondering why you're possibly somewhat withdrawn and somewhat riled. You know what I mean? It's boost up. Good. I'd be feeding the fire at this point. That's what you want to do. Feed it up. Get man gassed. That's how you need to be. If anything, in my opinion, I'd like to see more. Yeah? I'd like to start on a Mike Tyson kind of thing where Mike Tyson used to... in fact, I might do a video on this, but I'll say it now quickly. Mike Tyson, he had the best one. He had the best response to this situation. And this actually sums up what I'm trying to... I've been going around in circles for the last 15 minutes, but this right here, I'll end it on this part, but this sums it up perfectly what I'm trying to say. Listen, what do we know? Who was it? Was it Mike Tyson was on an interview with someone, and he said something. Oh, that was it, the Evander Holyfield fight, and the interviewer, this cocky little fox guy, goes to him. The interviewer goes to Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson, sometimes, or do you think that you bring too much rage into the ring? And Mike Tyson says, "F it, it's a fight. What difference does it make?" And that was a classic. In fact, yeah, I haven't given it justice, but I'm sure many of you have probably seen it. Some random ass fox guy, some random ass interviewer says, "Mike, do you think you bring too much rage to the ring?" And Mike says, "F it, it's a fight. What difference does it make?" Yeah, and that's what it comes down to. That's how you should respond to these goofy people. Oh, AJ, F it, it's a fight. That's what you damn right. F it, it's a fight. What difference does it make? That's the bottom line on this one. People are wondering about his mindset. You do understand this is the problem. A lot of these goofy individuals don't. And I'm not saying I'm some seasoned warrior, but at least if I'm going to be involved in this industry, I can understand and empathise with how you're in this kind of mindset, or how you're going towards that kind of mindset. You're about to have a fight with a man who's trying to take your head off, and we've seen what potentially is at risk here, i.e. people losing their lives. You lot think it's a big clown show where everyone should be smiling and jangling around and bouncing off the walls. What's wrong with these people? It's odd. You call yourself an industry whatever, you're a goof. Anyway, I'm glad to see this stuff. More of that. I want to see more fingers sticking out. You're damn right. Yeah? Now, before I go, I've completely forgot to read out what AJ actually said in this interview. He says the following. Joshua told reporters, "What do people think this is? This is fighting. One loss doesn't take spots off a cheater. I came into boxing to fight. I've been a champion. I've been Olympic champion. You can't ask me how I feel after a loss. You have to hold some regard to what we're doing in this boxing industry. Now I listen to what people say about us and think they should put some respect on our name. You're damn right. Put some respect on the name. That's what you need to be doing. Birdman style, Brokeback Mountain style. We don't play games when it comes to boxing. We're serious. After I took the loss and had time to reflect, I thought, effing hell, I took this ish seriously. And I want to take it even more seriously, because I'm going to that next level." At this point, the 30-year-old raised both middle fingers and said, "When I win, I will be like F everybody." This has got my nipples tingling out you. No homo, but still tingling. Yeah? This is almost on parallel to the Mike Tyson thing I was talking about. All we need to see now is the snare in the face, the facial emotions. F it, it's a fight. It's all coming, for me, it's all coming round circle now. I feel sorry for Ruiz, I really do. I feel like Ruiz is going to get one of them ones. That's what I feel.